Thank you, Danielle. It is time for the headliner presented by Miller Lite, and let's bring in a Tiger pitcher, Justin Foley. Jason, welcome to the headliner. Great to have you on the program. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Well, your story is one story that I think we can all embrace. I don't know if it's the quintessential American story or whatever, but never perseverance, never down, never out, always pitching. But let's go back. You're in the Cape Cod League. You're played at Sacred Heart University. You weren't drafted. I don't know if you think, wow, is this ever going to turn out and happen? And lo and behold, because you can throw the heater, the Tigers were interested, and you find yourself in the major leagues. Can you go back to that moment? What was that kind of like for you when, you're not really sure? You want to be a major league pitcher, but you're not sure what the future is going to bring.
Sure. Yeah, it was definitely a tough blow not getting drafted, especially since my best friend Zach, who also was on the Tigers. He was drafted that year, so it was definitely tough to deal with. But you just after a couple of weeks, I brushed it off and said, let's just have fun this summer and go back to school and see what happens. And thankfully enough, I got seen by the right place, right time, and everything worked out. So it was, like I said, it stunk, but it all worked out for the better. So,
well, I know it all worked out, but in the back of your mind was what not kept you going. That's not the proper word. But you can throw 95 to 100 miles an hour consistently. Did you know that eventually, somewhere down the road, people were going to take notice of that velocity?
Yeah, I always knew that throwing hard would open some eyes and get me some looks, but yeah. So I didn't necessarily think I would have got signed at the end of that summer, but I just figured if I kept pitching well and working hard, and something good would happen. So whether it was that summer or the next year in the draft, but just like I said, happy it ended up happening, and wouldn't change it.
What was that moment like when Detroit comes to you and says, "Hey, look, we'd like you to be part of our organization, our Old English D"? I mean, is it a sense of relief, a sense of accomplishment? Do you feel pride? I mean, what was going on?
Yeah, crazy sense of accomplishment. It was pretty funny. It all happened so quick. I woke up one morning and from a voicemail from the scout Jim Bretz, who signed me. And it was almost like a feeling of disbelief in a way, like you never thought it was going to happen. But we got to talking, and within probably 48 hours, I signed a contract. So it really all snowballed super quick, but it was a great moment overall.
You're in the Tiger system. You're starting to progress. You're West Michigan, Lakeland, and everything seems to be going well. And then Tommy John surgery happens to you. Can you explain what's going through your mind at that point? Meaning that you can throw the heater. We all know that, but now you're having Tommy John surgery. What was that whole experience like for you?
Yeah, that was really tough. Obviously, I'd been throwing really well that summer. Got called up to Lakeland, which was high A at the time. Just feeling really good, and then of course, like you said, Tommy John happened. It was just kind of a mental battle more so than a physical one. I mean, I was out of baseball for over a year, about a year and a month. So I missed a lot of time, and you just got to keep telling yourself that if you work hard now and grind through the days of rehab, that it'll all be better and you'll come back. So it was a tough mental battle for me, but I got through it.
Well, forgive me. I don't mean to be corny here, but you're kind of the poster child of perseverance. So when you're going through the rehab of Tommy John, is your biggest maybe fear that you're going to lose something off your fastball? Is that what you're hoping, that your velocity stays the same? Was that what you were actually rehabbing and working towards to keep that heater the heater?
Yeah, I mean, I guess velocity is something that is what sets me apart and makes me kind of who I am. So yeah, we were for sure, like, that was a big thing that we monitored on the way back, and that was always something that you want to make sure you have. The off speed stuff you can always kind of relearn and kind of get used to that again, get the feel for it. But yeah, the velo is something that you always want to make sure is still there.
Well, when you're up there and you're starting to rehab and you get on the mound for the first time, are you a risk taker, thinking I'm just going to open it up and see where this, see where it all is, or do you kind of ease yourself back into the velo and do the slider or change up, work on other pitches, some off-speed stuff before you really open up your arm?
Yeah, it's a super long, drawn out process. I mean, it probably took about a month and a half to 2 months of bullpens before I threw like an actual 100% bullpen with all my pitches. It started out only fastballs, maybe 10 or 15, and you just kind of build up there and build up intensity and volume throughout it. So it's a super slow process, but I mean, it's all for the long run. So it ended up working out.
Well, I know that COVID hits, and then you're with Toledo last year, and that whatever in the heck was going on down there, playing against your teammates, and so you're not on the Tiger 40-man roster. You're exposed in the Rule 5 draft. You're not taken, thankfully. You're not the Akil Badu of another team, shall I say, right now. You pitch really well in Toledo. You're striking guys out. Your innings pitch and strikeouts is impressive. You get the call, but it's not the normal, hey, come on in here, Jason. We got some good news for you. You think you're going in for more COVID protocol. What was that whole experience like for you?
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. The staff got me pretty good there. June 5th was when they called me in, and I had thought it was to sign some document or do some COVID testing stuff because that I had to start retesting for COVID that day. So I just thought, I'm going in to do some formalities and whatnot. And they were all like, they were all being super serious about it, and they held a good poker face. And eventually, they broke the news, and it was pretty crazy. Didn't really know it was coming, but it was definitely a special moment. And so they made it worth it.
What initially were you thinking when they finally told you, no, this, hey, COVID's serious. Don't get us wrong. We're not making light out of it. But boom, you're going to the major leagues. You're going to the big show here. I mean, did you want to release all kinds of emotion? Did you want to jump up and down, or did you play it cool?
I at first, our manager down there is he loves messing around with us. So at first, I was like, man, are you being serious? And like, he was like, yeah, dude, you're going to the big leagues. And that was when I, kind of got pretty emotional, and everyone was super happy for me. So it was overall just a awesome experience.
After you share the moment with your teammates down there in Toledo, what do? Do you call your parents right away? Do you call family members? What was next for Jason Foley?
Yeah, I went back to the hotel and called my parents immediately. They were actually with my brother at the time, so it was actually nice. I just made one call, and they were super stoked. And it was around like probably 1 o'clock. I called them, so they had to kind of get a flight pretty quick because the following game was a day game. So they were kind of a little flustered, but they were obviously super excited.
Once you get to Detroit, they're in Chicago, obviously playing the red hot White Sox. What does AJ tell you, or Chris Fetter? Do they say, look, you're not here to sit on the bench. We're going to use you right away? Were you surprised that you made your debut so quickly?
Yeah, they had nothing but good things to say and supportive words for me, which was obviously really reassuring. I wasn't really too surprised. I mean, he had AJ had told me he'd try to get me in today or the next game. I was just happy I got in the first game and didn't have to wait the whole off day having not debuted. So it was definitely nice to just get the first one, get the nerves out right away, and that was nice.
You get the call. You're on the hill. You look around. You're in that ballpark there in Chicago, the old bandbox thing. And I mean, do you have, and forgive me because, I'm a Detroiter, and I think everybody, this movie's ingrained in all of us, Kevin Costner, For the Love of the Game, even though it was, I guess, took place in Yankee Stadium. But do you have that moment where you start to just look around and think about your parents or think about everything you've been through? Do you allow yourself to soak it in even before you throw your first pitch in the big leagues?
Yeah, I think when it really hit me, I actually felt pretty calm and pretty normal all day, and then it really hit me once I opened the gate and jogged into the mound. That's when I kind of realized, like, wow, like you're in the big leagues. Everything just felt, it was just a crazy experience. But that's kind of really when I first realized, like, holy, I'm in the big league. So that was awesome.
Now, your parents and your brother were there, as you said. I mean, did you know where they were sitting? Was there moments because you hit two of the first three batters, although that one hit was the guy didn't even move. I mean, do you calm yourself down and know my family's right here? They have, if anybody, they have my back.
Yeah, it's actually funny you say that. So my parents hit a bunch of traffic on the way in, so they actually got there in the bottom of the first or so. So I actually didn't even know where they were sitting. But it probably for the better that I didn't look at them because they were probably 10 times as nervous as I was. So it's almost probably better I didn't look.
You hit a couple of guys, you get yourself in a little bit of a jam, you're working yourself out of it, and lo and behold, the Tiger Killer himself, Tim Anderson, comes up, and that's the guy you've got to get. You get him on a ground ball with a 99-mile-per-hour fastball. What's going through your mind when you know that Anderson, this is the guy that, trust me, has just murdered the Tigers for the last several seasons?
Yeah, I mean, obviously not the spot you want to get yourself into in your debut, but with 2 outs, you got to just tell yourself, make one good pitch, one or two good pitches, and you're out of it. So you obviously know he's a really good hitter, but I trust in my stuff as well. So yeah, just got to think, make one good pitch and you're out of it, and just happy I made that pitch.
I'm kind of wondering what's going through your mind. I know, the catcher's going to call the game. If whether it's Haas or Jake Rogers or whomever. But when you're facing a premier hitter like that, is it in your mind, me against him? I'm bringing the heat. I'm becoming flamethrower Foley right now. And buddy, you're not going to be able to hit it. What's happening?
Yeah, I mean, end of the day, it's you versus the hitter every time out there, and I just in a big spot, I figured go to my best pitch, was that two-seam fastball inside. So I just figured I'd throw some in on his hands and hopefully get him ground out, and thankfully it worked out.
Right, it did. Boy, I just gave you a nickname. Have you ever been called Flamethrower or Flamethrower Foley before?
No, I think you can coin that one. I don't think I've heard it before.
All right, well, I'm going to make T-shirts and we'll split the profits. Okay, I'm sure the Tigers will start marketing it. So you got a little side business going now. With all that said, I really want to ask you. I think one of the best moments that came out of all of this, besides you making your debut, is Zach Short, who has been up and down with the Tigers this year. Obviously, a good ball player. They got him from the Chicago organization. He was your teammate at Sacred Heart, teammate like there in Toledo. Can you talk about the Tigers letting him stay so he can see, as you just said, best friends can actually be together and share this moment together?
Yeah, that meant a lot. I mean, it was definitely a nice gesture by AJ to let him stay. Like you said, we've been best friends pretty much since college, since freshman year of college. So it was really special to have him there, and I'm thankful I got to throw in front of him. So it was nice.
Now, does he say anything to you? Because he's been in the bigs before. Does he try to calm you down, or did he offer any kind of advice to you?
Yeah, before the game, before he was heading up to his seat, he was just like, just have fun out there and do your thing, and like, I got confidence in you. So it was always nice to hear that. He's always had my back. I've always had his. So it's kind of nice. Just good words of encouragement there.
Well, I have to ask you because it does seem to be a trend, at least on the Tigers. I don't know if it is in Major League Baseball, but, Jake Rogers, looks like he should be playing in the 1880s with his look. Your stash is a little more contemporary, if I may say so. But what is it? Are the Tigers going to be known as the mustachioed baseball team? Is this a trend for Detroit right now?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, people always giving me a bunch of stuff for me and Rogers for having mustaches, but I just grew it out at the start of quarantine, right when COVID hit, because I figured why not? I wasn't leaving the house much anyways, and I started throwing pretty well with it, so I figured, hey, I'll make it a kind of an in-season look, and it just stuck. I mean, I don't. Parents probably don't love it, but whatever. I'm having fun with it, and we'll see. Keep it for now.
Yeah. So I guess as long as everything's working out for you, that stash is going nowhere, right?
Yeah, it's just a fun look. It keeps things light. I mean, I don't mind it, but yeah, I'll keep it for the time being for sure.
All right. Well, Jason, unfortunately, we've run out of time. I could go on, maybe I will start calling you a flamethrower Foley. And when you're there in Comerica Park and you hear someone screaming that, it's going to be me. But hey, best of luck. Congratulations, really. It's an accomplishment. It's great to have you here in Detroit to wear that Old English D, and many more seasons as a Tiger and continued success. Thanks for joining us on The Headliner.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
That'll do it for this edition of The Headliner presented by Miller Lite. Miller Lite, it is the original light beer, only 96 calories. It tastes great, it's delicious, and it's available for delivery. Daniela, back to you.